Hey everybody, it's Eric from the MMG. Welcome to our channel. I'm very excited to be bringing you some early access look at Assassin's Creed Shadows. Do want to mention this is a work in progress, early version of the game, so this is not the final product. Let's jump right into it.
Alright, so the setting for this Assassin's Creed is feudal Japan. You actually get to play as two different characters, which is really cool. They have an intertwined system or story, and you can go in and out. One is a shinobi assassin, and the other one is a powerful samurai. So think of like if you want to play a stealth class, more of a stealth class, or more of a warrior or fighter class. I liked being able to choose how I wanted to approach things, and there's definitely going to be, I can tell already, situations where it's pretty obvious which one you should be playing. But what's cool is you don't necessarily have to, at least in the part that I got to experience.
That is correct.
And as you can see, there's a lot of NPCs that all have dialogue and a little cutscene when you talk to them. Not all of them, but any one of them that have a quest or a mission for you. And then my favorite part of any game is when there's an auto-follow. Because when you're walking through for a mission and you're getting story dealt to you as you're following them, I hate games that make you follow yourself because you always either run too fast or run too slow and you're concentrating on where you're going, and anyways it's hard to pay attention. So I really appreciate that they have an auto follow in this game because it makes it a lot easier to enjoy the scenery and listen to what the NPC is actually telling you. And speaking of NPCs and talking to them, the system is back where you get to make your own decisions. Again, I didn't get to play enough story to tell how impactful they are, but I will tell you there was a couple times where I felt like my decision really mattered, which I appreciate in a game. So that will be more to be determined once the game is released and people have more time to actually play with it and see all the different endings and everything that's possible. Alright, next let's talk a little bit about the combat. This is where I felt the game really shined. I enjoyed both of the characters. Both of the playstyles were drastically different, and I definitely leaned more personally towards the warrior class. Less away from the stealth and the range stuff. Now, both characters do have up-close melee and ranged weapons available to them. And there is also a whole gear system that goes along with it. There's combos, there's like fatality-looking finishing moves. All that was there, and I thought it was really well done.
Sometimes you're going to do missions where it's going to give you an option of who you want to play. That'll pop up, or you can switch yourself if you decide that you want to change your approach. And then once you start out in the mission, a lot of times you're going to start in the open world and you have to travel to get there. Now there's a couple things you can activate. You can activate the quest in the menu, but you can also just explore and run into things and, do a mission on the whim. There's definitely a big open world here, which is really beautiful, what I got to see of it. And I like the approach that they take where, you can kind of just go out and find your own trouble if you want to, or you can follow the story, or you can do whatever you want. As you can see here, I ran into the wrong area and got into a pretty mean fight here. And I did not last long against these high-level samurais. I do want to mention I'm not good at these games, so don't take this as combat being excessively hard. I am just not the best. And in fact, when you start the game, you get to choose from one of 4 difficulties, which is alright. Let's talk a little bit about the skill system and the knowledge ranks, which is pretty neat. Later in this demo, I'll show you where I actually did something to gain a knowledge point, but I think there's a lot of ways to gain these, and then you can use those in your skill tree to upgrade different ways, however you want to play that particular. And you can see here, these are the samurais, different ones you can choose from, the long katana, and so forth. There's 6 different ones, and then each one actually has unlocks within them. Let me show you what a couple of those look like here. And you can see here, this is the long katana, and there's the several different skills that I could upgrade or move from. Some of them I didn't have enough knowledge yet to do, so I had to stay kind of low on these. But as you can see, there's different things to do. This particular character, it propped me up to a level 25 character, I believe it was. So I had some stuff already unlocked, and then I also had some choices to make. And then there was different trees or different weapons, different styles, might be the right term, that you could go through and upgrade. And there was a pretty interesting tree, but I did like the variety, and I like that. If you want to be a ranged samurai, well, you can be a ranged samurai. You can specialize that tree. If you want to be up close with combat and use a katana or a different melee weapon, the spike club, then you can do that as well. So I like that it gives you the choice. All right, now we're going to take a look at the inventory system, some of the armor stuff that you can wear. As you can see, they set me up with some base stuff, level 25 gear, and there's a couple different choices here, and they have different stats on them. I like a game where you can, kind of mix and match your equipment and do different stats that'll play to your play style, right? And so I like this aspect of the game, and I like that we have choices. the same kind of gear setup where there's different colors to identify if it's rare or uncommon or whatever. All right, next we're going to take a look at the objective screen. I like this about this game a lot, and if you've ever played Division 2, they have a bounty system where you're doing like these large missions that are all chained together where you're like going from bounty to bounty, unlocking information. And this kind of reminded me of this with these missions and how they're set up here. As you can see, like I have the main objectives and I have these 3 things that I can do to progress the mission. And then it shows you here some more stuff about sending scouts out you can do. There's a lot of really neat stuff that I didn't get a chance to play that I'm very excited to check out with the whole open world scouting, and the whole environment was really cool. And so as you can see, the map is very detailed, and I like that I could zoom in and like find things like this mission, and then I could actually track it or untrack it from here if I want to come back and catch up on a mission that I missed previously. All right, now here's some footage of me traveling through the countryside. You'll see how some of my horse here. We're traveling to one of the objectives that I found to check out. But I just thought it was cool seeing. I really like the environment and the vibe. And you'll see as I approach things, I uncover more stuff to look at. A lot of these games, Assassin's Creed, have done this in the past with the open world. And this still has a lot of those same features in it. And you see as I run into this area and discover the old port here, that it also unlocks a fast travel spot, so you can do it from the hideout management screen to warp around to different areas of the map once you've discovered them. And here's a part that I came upon where I made a bad choice to start with. I decided to kind of confront the suspicious merchants and get in a fight with them, and they just whipped my butt. And so when I respawned, I used this opportunity to take the other choice where I was peaceful just to see what would happen, and I was able to resolve the situation without combat. So that's definitely capable in this game. And like I said earlier, I wasn't quite sure how much it affects the story because I didn't get enough choices to determine it for sure. But in this particular case, it did work out for me. I didn't have to fight them, and I resolved the conflict through communication. Alright, then shortly after that, I actually noticed something on the map that wanted me to kind of investigate it, and it tells me a couple different times here when I'm walking up to it that I need to approach quietly or I'll scare it away. And so I crouch walked over to it, and I found out that it was a crane that's actually my guy this whole time is pulling out his book and observing this, and it looks like it was drawing it to me. So I thought this little cutscene it was a nice change of pace for the game. For this game being a combat game with lots of violence, it was nice to be able to go out and investigate the wildlife in this area and have like a cool little cutscene where your guy's actually like observing and drawing it. This isn't all just about killing and violence. You're actually doing you're paying attention to nature, and you're observing it and recording it. Which is really a nice change of pace. So here I finally arrived at my objective, this temple that it wanted me basically to sneak into. And again, I'm using the warrior class. I was not using the shinobi. That would be the better choice for this. But I wanted to see how different it was taking the combat approach. Now, again, I'm terrible at these games, so I get my butt whipped quite a bit. But it was very doable, and I died a few times attempting it, kind of learning my way around, finding the secrets, finding where to hide, where to fight, where to get a sneak attack in and take them out, all that stuff. The typical Assassin's Creed game, right? I like that I had the choice to do this with the bigger samurai than having to do this stealth style. Again, like I said a couple times, obviously it would have been easier to do the stealth. And I kind of found that you could kind of do it stealthy with this guy. It's just harder, right? So you do have the choices, and you can't decide what to do. But for this one exactly, I struggled a lot because a lot of the characters were ranged. But that's how this game's going to work. I mean, it all makes sense. I wasn't surprised. I was purposely making choices just to see what would happen, right? Alright, I'm going to wrap up this video and show you the rest of my attempt to get in here. I ran out of time before I could quite finish it, but I did find some of the shipment clues that it wanted me to, and I could definitely see I was getting close to the end. But overall thoughts of this game so far, my preview is very impressive. So I feel like they've done a really good job incorporating this atmosphere, the combat style, and the world all together really well. And if you have enjoyed previous stealth games, like, any Assassin's Creed before this, and you love the stealth style of navigating, getting missions, you can play that way. I think if that's something you've just liked in the past, now you have this option of playing this warrior and going head to head and just being a really good fighter, which I really like. And so I think this game may attract a new audience to the Assassin's Creed series with the different style of combat and just the open worldness that it offers. I think this is a great entry into the series, and if you're a fan of Assassin's Creed, I think you're going to like this game quite a bit. Alright everybody, thank you so much for watching the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and most importantly, have yourself a great day.